All right, happy Saturday, y'all. Going to talk today about the topic of you're going to need to make and sell furniture to the wealthy class if you're going to make it in the furniture game going into 2025. I'm talking about two subjects here. We're going to talk about the economy is going to get more expensive, and we are going to talk about overseas manufacturing is going to get tricky. Okay, those two things I'm going to talk about, and then I'll give you a bonus topic, which is going to be the psychology of the ideal client. Okay, now we're talking about the wealthy class specifically. Is who you're going to have to sell your furniture to because you're going to have a divide in America that's going to continue to grow, right? The haves and the have-nots, the poor and the wealthy, all those kind of things. You know, they said the middle class is getting squeezed, and it's very true. And we're going to talk about why. So, all right, so I'm starting here with a story. Okay, I went to New Zealand for a long time, and when I was over there, I realized that everything is very expensive, right? And you're immediately thinking, well, yeah, it's an island. Of course, they have to ship everything in there, you know. And yes, that's part of it. The other thing is because it was so expensive, you had a lot of people that own their own businesses. And the reason for this is because as the price of things increases, they can raise their prices, right? Another reason is that you can't always afford to buy everything, right? America is a service-based economy. And if you have your own business, you can do a lot of things with your own business, right? Your life becomes more about running your business, owning a company, than, you know, paying for someone to do something, you taking all that free time and going and, you know, drinking and going on vacation. It's a different kind of a life, right? You spend more time outside, hanging out with friends, less time buying goods, right? So I think that's kind of where America's heading towards. And I could be wrong, but anyway, let's talk about it. So the economy is going to get more expensive. Okay. Yes. So over the last 4 years, I mean, we've seen it. The cost of everything has gone up substantially. Some people say it's 20%. Some people say it's 40%. You know, I would venture to say it's significantly more than that. And I think that the amount of the cost of goods is very underreported. And I think a lot of people would agree with me on this fact. Now, as the economy gets more expensive, when you own your own company, you can ride those waves much better than a W-2, right? So if you work for somebody else, it's much more difficult for you to go into your boss and say, hey, man, I need more money. Things are getting more expensive. Because your boss is going to say, yeah, well, what are you going to do for that additional money, right? And there are bosses that will say, yeah, I get it, fine. You know, we're going to raise your prices. And if the labor market is much tighter, you have a little bit more power there with your employer. Now, if you own your own company, you have a lot more ability to navigate, again, all the variables that go into pricing your goods, into selling, and to dealing with all these things that I'm going to talk about. So one of the things that you're able to do is if you're selling to that wealthy client, right? Like that's what we titled this video. We talked about how you have to sell to these wealthy people. And those people are much more able to, again, navigate all the things we're going to talk about, just like you're going to be able to. And odds are that they're going to be able to do it a lot better than you, right? But because you have a company, you're going to be able to participate in this particular part of the economy that other people are just not going to be able to. So with inflation is going to continue to go up, right? We have a new administration coming into office, and inflation it's going to continue to go up. But one of the things that's going to happen is you're going to see a lot of changes in the regulatory environment, which again, if you are a business owner, you will be able to take advantage of this, producing a product here in America. So you're going to be able to you'll be able to sell more products to more people because your costs are probably going to go down, okay? Now, if you're an employee, it's much more difficult for you to take advantage of that, right? Because the employer is not always going to pass those costs on to their employees because they obviously have to wait, you know, they have to keep some cash on hand because you don't know what's going to happen 6 to 12 months down the road, you know? So having your own company, selling to wealthier people is going to allow you to weather some of the things that I see coming down the pipeline, okay? Topic number 2 is overseas manufacturing is going to get very tricky, okay? This has to deal with tariffs, okay? Again, new administration. Tariffs are a hot topic right now. And if some of these tariffs come into play the way everyone thinks that they may, then it's going to be very difficult to source things from overseas, or it's at least going to get more expensive, okay? There could be retaliatory situations where one country, you know, says F you to another country, and then it snowballs, right? So again, if you make things here in America, using American products, American labor, all these kind of things, you're going to be less exposed to that kind of stuff. Now, that doesn't mean that every person that you buy a good from doesn't buy all their machines from overseas, and thus they have to start upcharging you. I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying in general, you're going to be able to navigate this potential tariff stuff a lot easier than some of these other companies out there. A thing that's a very popular way to make money in America today is literally to start a company where you're purchasing stuff overseas, bring it back to America, and sell it at American prices. Okay, because truth is the markup on some of these foreign goods. I mean, you're talking 100, 200% is not uncommon, right? We import hardware from India. I can tell you the markup is substantial, and it's not because we don't charge what we charge because we're just trying to make a certain amount of money, right? We just want to make 10, 20%. No, we charge what the market will bear. And that's another thing you're able to learn as a business owner. You're going to learn exactly what people are willing to pay for your product based on how they value your product. Okay, so I think that's something that's going to be coming down the pipeline. So it's really important that if you're able to start a company, or if you want to start a company, you do that with making things in America in mind, because again, this is going to help you to avoid the issues of things becoming more expensive. This is going to help you to avoid the issue of if there's a recession incoming when you're dealing with an expensive client. Recessionary fears are always going to be there, but when you have an expensive client or a wealthy client, there's almost a floor in what gets purchased for luxury goods, expensive goods. Like right now, if you look at, you can just Google any luxury good, you're going to see sales down, sales down, sales down. And I can tell you that's probably true, but anytime you go to a wealthy area, a wealthy mall, a wealthy place that people buy that kind of stuff, they're always packed, because the truth is these people are always buying, and wealthy people are always buying new houses. Wealthy people are always moving. They're always, coming up with new things they want to do in their homes, redesigning, redecorating, all these kind of things. And if you have this client, it's really going to allow you to continue to do business, right? And everyone talks about wanting a wealthy customer and sell to the wealthy, but it's very important. And I can give you some actual concrete tips on how to do that, and some concrete ways that we do that to sell furniture to our wealthy client base. Okay, so that's what I'm going to say about all that kind of stuff right now. One thing I do want to talk about is, I told you if you listen into this video, I talk about the psychology of the ideal client. And the psychology of the ideal client is they want to be served. Okay, they want service. It's the most important thing. Okay, so I got the screen. I'm showing you SolidWorks here. So I'll show you a quick product. So this is a faux bamboo china cabinet, right? And I'll lose plenty of guys, right? No one likes my furniture. No one likes painted furniture, but just pay attention, okay? This is kind of important. This is just the generic model that I make for this particular piece of furniture, okay? This is the kind of furniture that wealthy people are going to buy, right? And most guys are looking at this thing like, God, that's hideous. I would never buy that. I don't care about that, okay? So here's what I want to show you. I was just, let's go over here to Chrome. Okay, here's the actual listing for this cabinet. Pagoda top faux bamboo china cabinet, okay? There's these sell for $8,000 a pop. Okay, I just sold 2 of these to somebody. Okay, I don't know, maybe a month ago. Okay, these people are still buying this stuff, and they're buying lots of really nice furniture. And the reason this thing sells, and I'm selling multiples of them, is because it's exclusive, right? There's nobody else making this kind of thing. Okay, this is what rich people want. They want exclusive items. Yes, they buy the same stuff that you and I buy all the time, but they want something that they can't get from somebody else, right? Some of you probably see this Blacktail Studio. I see them on YouTube a lot. Great product. Epoxy table. I think that guy was kind of one of the people to really popularize. I think, and I'll bet he sells the crap out of them. But this is the same kind of thing. Nobody makes faux bamboo furniture, right? And no man wants to make it, which is why I get to make them pretty much exclusively. And I sell this stuff all day long. This literally is what keeps me in business, because I'm selling to a client who is very wealthy, and I'm selling something that nobody else makes, right? So the psychology side of this is you need to make a product that wealthy people want, right? And I think too many people think that they're just going to make something, someone's going to see it, and it's going to explode. Like, it doesn't work that way, because most people are making products that other people are already making. And it's very important that you make something really unique, okay? So the other thing I want to talk about is service, okay? This is also part of the psychology of the ideal client. I'm going to tell you guys something. I spent 20 years in the private jet industry. Okay, I worked on Cessnas, I worked on Bombardiers, I worked on Gulfstreams, I worked on Boeing business jets, I worked on, Dassault, I worked on so many freaking jets. And I'll tell you what all these people have in common, okay? All these people want service, okay? whether you're buying a $7 million used jet or you're buying a $70 million Gulfstream 650, things break, whether it's brand new or it's old, okay? And they want people to take care of them. It's the most important thing. If you take care of your customer, and I mean really take care of them, okay? You really take care of those people, they will be with you for life. Especially the wealthier they are, the more service that they want. You take care of them, they will always come back because they're not just paying for your furniture. They're paying for the experience. They're paying for your ability to get that furniture in and out. They're paying for the ease of which to deal with you, to get a hold of you. All these factors are so gosh darn important. I cannot emphasize it enough. So that's my bonus tip. Do this quick little video on this stuff. I'm going to continue to do these videos. I think it's good information for people. And everyone have a fantastic weekend.